Hi, good evening, fellow classmates. It's Renee coming to you again, submitting my week number 5, assignment number 3, my persuasive speech. And before I go into my thesis or even the topic of my speech, I'd like you to indulge me for a moment. I want to paint a verbal picture for you. There is this woman. She's around 78 years old, African American woman, and still working hard as a social worker. So you know that's a stressful job. Within her home, she actually has 2 foster daughters in their teenage years. She also has living with her 2 of her great-grandchildren. One is not of school age, but the other one is in the 1st grade at the present time. Now, she comes home from work. This grandmother slash great-grandmother slash foster parent comes home from work, and her granddaughter is there with her because her granddaughter helps her out by taking care of the great-grandchild, who happens to be the second cousin to the grandchild, because he is not of school age. Nevertheless, grandmother comes home, has her dinner, but she also, maybe around an hour after her dinner, she feels a certain sensation in her chest. It's not necessarily a tightness, but it's just she feels as though something's not right. So her granddaughter decides, let's go ahead and dial 911 just to make sure everything is okay. Of course, EMS shows up, and they do all the probing questions like, what did you eat today? What did you eat last night? What type of medications are you on? Or are you feeling lightheaded? Did you pass out? If you passed out, did you fall and bump your head? After all those probing questions were answered and all her medications were gathered, the EMS team felt as though it would be best for the grandmother to take a trip up to the local medical facility. Of course, they would transport her there for further medical evaluation, and that was done. This happened on a Monday evening. Now, the grandmother stayed in that hospital from 7 o'clock p.m. until 11:30 p.m. The granddaughter went back up to the hospital to pick her up, took her home, got her changed, got her in the bed so that grandmother could get ready, wake up and get ready for work that following Tuesday morning. So the granddaughter decided to stay, of which she did, and she just decided, okay, then I'm just going to sleep in the bedroom with the foster daughters. They were of teenage years. The granddaughter was very close with the foster children anyway, had a great relationship with them. And I want to say around 1 o'clock in the morning, the granddaughter, of whom had fallen asleep in the bedroom of the foster children, hears a loud thump on the ground. Immediately, the granddaughter wakes up, opens the bedroom door, and finds her grandmother pinned in the hallway, face down, with her arms pinned behind her back. Immediately, she screams, dial 911, dial 911. One of the foster children would get on the phone and dial 911 and is on the phone with the dispatcher. Of course, the dispatcher is asking all those probing questions again. And the dispatcher advises the granddaughter to turn her grandmother's head to the side, just in case the grandmother vomits. They don't want her to, so to speak, choke on her vomit. Of course, that kind of makes sense. So the granddaughter does that. 30 seconds after the granddaughter does that, the grandmother takes a deep breath in, and lets it out. Then takes another deep breath in and lets it out. On that second exhale, the grandmother's body just shudders. And lo and behold, at that point, the granddaughter knew her grandmother was dying right in front of her. By that time, the EMS team shows up, loads the grandmother up on to the stretcher, transports her back to that same hospital. All the grandmother's children were notified, and they met everyone. The whole family meets up at the hospital. The whole family meets up at that hospital. Doctor comes out and talks to the oldest daughter and says, "I'm sorry, but your mother passed away." The EMT team was able to revive her in the ambulance, but we weren't able to keep her stabilized here, and she passed away. That grandmother was Winnie Jewel Watkins. That granddaughter was Renee Johnson-Goddard. Yes, that was me. I actually seen my grandmother take her last breaths right in front of me, and there was nothing, absolutely nothing that I could do. My grandmother actually died due to cardiomyopathy, but she got that heart condition due to high blood pressure. And today, I want to talk to you about hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, and how we need to get it in check. Now, according to the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, there's certain risk factors that pertain to high blood pressure. Your age has something to do with it. Your race and ethnicity has something to do with it. Your weight has something to do with it. Your gender has something to do with it. Even your lifestyle habits. Now, as far as your age is concerned, when you get older in life as a woman, you're more susceptible to get high blood pressure, or vice versa. But did you know, when it comes to race, African American people as a whole are even more susceptible to get high blood pressure, even at an early age, over Caucasian people as well as Hispanic people. So I say we need to get this in check. Your weight also has something to do with it. So you need to watch your weight. Again, your gender. Going back to that again. Men and women are equally likely to get high blood pressure, but prior to the age of 45, men are more susceptible to get it. After the age of 60, women are more susceptible to get it. Your lifestyle habits also have another factor in it. What do you do for activities? Yoga, dancing. You can even get on the Wii or the PlayStation with your children. And if you don't have children, go out and purchase one yourself. And that would actually lower the factors as far as you getting high blood pressure. There's a lot of things that come into play. And again, I can't stress it enough. We need to get it in check. Now, another thing I wanted to also touch bases on is how to actually alleviate the possibility as far as getting high blood pressure. As far as the Mayo Clinic is concerned, there's actually 10 ways that you can actually lower or even control your high blood pressure without even taking medication. And that is a great thing. Number 1, lose the weight. Weight loss is one of the most effective lifestyle changes for controlling blood pressure. Losing 10 pounds is a great thing for you. So try to work on that. Let's go ahead and go on to number 2. Number 2, try to exercise regularly. Even if it means taking the steps instead of the stairs, that's a good thing. After dinner, you could walk around the block for 30 minutes. As long as it's 30 minutes of regular activity on a daily basis, you lower your chances of getting high blood pressure, and that's always a great thing. Eating a healthy diet is another good thing. And you'll also notice on in my display or in my presentation, I have attachment as far as something known as the DASH plan. Take a chance, check it out. It's some amazing information there. You would absolutely love it. Also, when you're going grocery shopping, be a smart shopper. And when I say that, that basically means that when you're picking up stuff, when you're going grocery shopping, read those labels. They will get you every time. They will get you every time, which leads into my next factor. Watch your sodium intake. And what is that? Oh my goodness. Lo and behold, salt. Everyone thinks that with salt, it enhances the flavor of food. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's possibly true. But at the same time, did you know you can add herbs and spices to your meals that'll enhance it just as much? So again, lower your sodium intake. Number 5, and I'm guilty of this, I'm not going to lie, limit your alcohol intake. Now, according to the Mayo Clinic, again, they also state that for a man, he can have no more than 2 drinks a day, and he's okay. I'm not going to say he's okay, but at the same time, anything over 2 drinks a day, 2 12-ounce beers a day for a man is going to heighten your chances of getting high blood pressure. For a woman, if you have 2 drinks a day, on an average, you're more susceptible to get that high blood pressure. Number 6, another one I'm guilty of, I'm not going to lie, quit the smoking. Quit the smoking. People who quit smoking, regardless of age, have, something in my eye, have substantial increases in life expectancy. That's number 1. Number 2, if you quit smoking, that lowers your chances of getting high blood pressure. Number 7, cut back on that caffeine. I know there's a lot of people out there with they call themselves the caffeine people or the caffeine heads, if you will. They have to have it morning, noon, and night. Lower it down. That decreases your chances of getting high blood pressure as well. Number 8, reduce your stress. Now, granted, stress is a part of life. I get that. We're in a fast-paced society, things as such like that. You might be a single parent, or you might be a married couple with children. Not enough hours in the day. Not enough time to cook a meal. So what do? Pop a TV dinner in the middle. Those things are so loaded with sodium, it would boggle your mind. Again, make sure you're checking those labels when you go grocery shopping. Now we're going to go on to number 9. Monitor your high blood pressure. And this is a good thing because I'm actually going to show you. I got my handy dandy, what they call it. It's actually called a freestanding blood pressure monitor right here. I'm a veteran, so I was actually able to get one for free from my local VA facility. Any veterans that are in our class today, I know that Brandon is one. I know myself is one. I'm not quite sure if there's anyone else, but if you are a veteran, go to your local VA facility. Just let them know that you are actually interested in monitoring your blood pressure on a daily basis because you're trying to keep your blood pressure under control. They can put in a request to have one submitted on your behalf, so that's a great thing. But I'm actually going to show you how to work this, so that's going to be a great thing. And number 10, finally, get support. If it's your neighbor next door or your neighbor across the street, it could be your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, someone at church, someone in your classroom, whomever it may be. Get that support. If you can't find the resource that way, reach out to your local community because there are so many resources out there that can help you. Again, we honestly need to get this under control. We really do. One thing that I found out through the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute is that 1 in 3 adult people have high blood pressure. Now you think, okay, that's only 33%, but in my opinion, that's 33% too many. Too many. Again, I have some great literature as attachments. Please peruse over them. Check it out. So let's go ahead. I'm going to actually show you how to check your blood pressure. Again, this is a freestanding monitor. If you're a civilian and not a military affiliate, you can go to your local CVS, any type of pharmacy, and let them know that you're actually interested in getting one, a freestanding blood pressure monitor. And the prices range from, I've seen from $25 actually all the way up to $125 for different bells and whistles, if you will, on the blood pressure monitor. Mine is quite basic. It's battery operated, 4 AA batteries. Nonetheless, what I'm going to do, you have the monitor itself. You have your monitor itself. You have the tubing. And then you have something known as your blood pressure cuff with Velcro. Excuse me. What you're going to do is you're going to slide your arm through the blood pressure cuff. And you're actually going to get it above the bend of your elbow. Now this little tubing right here, make sure it is on the vein. Sort of like when you get blood taken. Make sure it's somewhat resting there. You're going to take it, securely fasten it with your blood, with the Velcro, and make sure you're in a well-rested state. You haven't been huffing and puffing. You haven't been smoking cigarettes. You haven't drinking alcohol. Again, like I said before, you're going to press the on button. So I'm going to go ahead and press the on button right now. From here, I'm going to press the start button. And every time I get my blood pressure taken, even at the doctor's office, I think of the ocean. So I'm going to close my eyes and think of the ocean. Bear with me. And sometimes I like to breathe. We're all finished now. At the present time, my blood pressure is 132/89. Normal readings would be 120/80. So yes, I'm running kind of high right now. I think it's actually due to the fact that I'm kind of anxious. No lie, I'm kind of anxious about doing this speech and things and such like that, because I want to give you all the knowledge that I possibly can. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to jot this number down, because I actually do my blood pressure in the morning when I wake up and in the evening right before I go to bed. Ever since that debacle happened with my grandmother, I made it a vow, number one, to get CPR certified, which I am, but also to monitor my blood pressure on a daily basis, because I do know that African American people are more susceptible at getting high blood pressure than any other race or ethnicity group. So again, please try to get it in check. Exercise regularly. Get the support that you need. Try to taper off the cigarettes and the drinking of the alcohol. Salt, don't put so much on. Again, there's so many herbs and spices that you could use to enhance the flavor. In my presentation, you'll find attachments for some very good, delicious low sodium snacks and dishes. One in particular for me is the mango salsa. I love mangoes, and the mango salsa, fabulous. So again, I hope you know who's at risk, what you can do to prevent it, and actually how to check your own how to check your own blood pressure. Try to do it on a daily basis. It was a pleasure being with you all these 5 weeks. I hope for nothing but the best from you. I've learned so much from all of you. I hope that you've learned at least one thing from me. And again, like I say, please, let's get this blood pressure in check. Thank you so much. You guys take care.